Hey guys, Ed over here at FICM Repair. So we have video about the whole DCR CPX injector fallout kind of conversation when things go horribly bad and you end up with a disco party in your fuel system and your 401k gets $10,000 lighter. And all kinds of comments, and I appreciate them very much. But this comment kind of stuck with me a little bit. This gentleman says, their simple solution, change fuel filters every service, hasn't failed me yet on 5 trucks. And it's like, okay. And then there's some sub-comments, that some private replies to this comment that said, well, I'm sorry, I did that too, and I still had my CP4 pump fail. Recognize that it's a lack of lubricity, right? Basically, as a result of how the CP4 pump handles lubrication, it is incredibly sensitive to inadequate fuel pressure and flow, which is the reason why, hey, this is a good idea just anyway in any vehicle. I don't care if you have a Ford Tempo, right? Letting your fuel tank get below a quarter tank is just not the best for you. It just hurts stuff. It puts a hurt on stuff. And so anytime you're sucking air, this is no bueno for you. And for my compadres that live in the tundra with us, similarly, there is a related conversation about saying, hey, I had my fuel gel, and now all of a sudden, here I am with a failed CP4, or here I am with some bad injectors, or here I am with a bad fuel pump, or here I am with some other bill, which is why we really like Hot Shots Secrets Diesel Winter Anti-Gel that's good to negative 65 degrees. Because, man, it's just not worth the hassle. It's not worth the difficulty. So if you can't swing, this kit for the, north of 2 bills that it is, holy sweet, that's just a lot of money. Then minimally, take a look at the disaster prevention kit that's on our site and see if you want to go that route, or you can take a look at the CPX pump and CPX versus DCR. There's a whole lot of conversation on there. I would say the DCR pump is a better design. It's just not so wildly available, and it's also doesn't support the power that the CPX pump solution does. So this is a year mileage may vary conversation, but it might be that in this particular poster's experience where he says, hey, look, I haven't had a problem in 5 trucks, it might just be that really you haven't had an inadequate fuel flow issue yet on 5 trucks. And of course the filter companies love you because you're changing out filters more often than you need to. I really like what Diesel Site does and on there, and there's other vendors that do things as well with their filtration solutions. They actually go ahead and you can put a flow gauge and say, hey, what kind of restriction am I getting through this filter? Is it time to change out a filter? Otherwise you're just changing out filters to change out filters, and of course the filter companies love you for this. But even that develops its own set of issues with improper priming technique and everything else. So this is a very long-winded way of saying, of course newer is better. Of course putting the DCR pump is better than leaving your CP4 pump. Of course there's a commercial for saying I'm going to roll the dice and take the risk and all of that kind of stuff. And of course I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do these other things. Of course. But I'm also going to go ahead and I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to decide, I'm going to elect to go ahead and I'm going to put a disaster prevention kit in here, or I'm going to do this or that or whatever to mitigate my exposure. And that's what this is all about. It's keeping you on the road, not to the side of it. So minimally, if you can afford to do nothing right now, because it's just Christmas time and the bills haven't even come yet, I would tell you to very seriously take a look at the Hot Shot Secret Everyday Diesel Treatment product just generally. And then in the winter months, take a look at the Hot Shot Secret Diesel Winter Anti-Gel, just to add lubricity and all of this kind of thing in concert with keeping your fuel tank above a quarter, possibly even above 3/8. That way there's just no question, right? And it mitigates your exposure. It doesn't eliminate it, it just minimizes. It takes care of some of it, right? So it mitigates it, it doesn't obviate it. So if that's interesting to you, if you've got 2 nickels to rub together and you want to give us $2,400, I think is the going rate on the DCR pump, God bless you, and spend a Saturday with some buddies and maybe a case of beer. and go ahead and put this in. There's tons of videos on there, on all the social media channels showing exactly how to do the job. So it's really not a difficult job. It's just a few minutes of your life. But cleanliness is close to godliness, so don't take any corners on that. And so as long as you do all that, life is good and getting better. And I certainly hope this helps somebody. FICMRepair.com. We're all in this together. To this original poster's point, I think that maybe there's a conversation about just, hey, it hasn't happened to you yet. Good job out of you. We're proud of you. But you are taking a chance. You are taking a gamble. And, you know, all the changing fuel filters does more frequently than you probably need to is it just better assures without ensuring. It better assures that you've got enough fuel flow. But I would say you could get there instead of buying fuel filters all the time. You could get there by just getting fuel pressure monitoring. So if that's interesting, like an Edge Insight CTS3 with a street diesel kit, you can see exactly what you're running for fuel pressure, and now it's just not an issue at all. All right, so it's all about the monitoring. I appreciate you very much. FICMRepair.com. We're all in this together. Thank you, guys.